myself R.P. Srivastava. Today I am going to discuss value judgment. What is value judgment and why we have to know about this? This is a very important concept. When we go into deep details of the study of welfare economics, we become thoroughfare with this term, that is value judgment. However, there is always the situation where we have to take care of the term value judgment, but specifically in welfare economics, we have to discuss or we have to know about value judgment without having the knowledge of this terminology. We are not able to discuss the intricacies involved in the discussion of welfare economics. Before this, I have given my two lectures on Pigouvian welfare economics and Pareto optimality. Now I am going to discuss what is value judgment all about. Let us discuss the concept of value judgment. What is the meaning of value judgment? If truly said, all critical judgments and statements which perform recommendatory, influential and persuasive functions are value judgments. Value judgments elaborate the facts in emotive way and induce people to change their beliefs and interests. So, value judgment have its own say or say of the individual and his thinking about the decisions of economics. This change will lead to increase in economic welfare, economic growth should be fast, and there is the need to reduce the income inequality. These are the propositions, these are the statements often given by economists or policy makers in terms of policy framing or discussing economics. When we take care of these statements, we can say that all these are the normative statements, and so all these statements are of value judgments. This slide we will discuss welfare and value judgment. Welfare is an ethical word, so all welfare propositions are ethical, implicit with value judgment. Whenever we talk about ethics, there comes the value. Being emotive word, satisfaction, utility are of ethical nature. In the same way, the use of the most emotive term like society, community or national are also ethical. All these terms are very much related with individual sentiments, and emotive issues are involved here. So, this term may be called ethical, and where there is ethical perspective, there comes the idea of value judgment. Because the welfare economics associates with policy measures, it includes the ethical bhakbholri like social welfare, social profit and social benefits. Thus, we cannot separate welfare economics from ethics. Here, In economics, oftenly we have to discuss the various emotive words. They are very much near to the sentiments of an individual, thinker, economist, and whatever he is. And if emotive issues is there that is very much relates itself with ethics, then we can say that it is quite impossible to discuss welfare economics without having the consideration of ethics or value judgment. In this slide, I will discuss the relation of welfare economics and value judgment. There are inseparable relation in between welfare economics and value judgment. In words of Professor Little, they are inseparable because the welfare terminology is a value terminology. Since welfare propositions are implicit with value judgments, here the questions arises that should economists go with value judgments? There is difference of opinion amongst the economists. What are the opinion of different economists about the consideration of value judgments in discussion of welfare economics? Various opinions are there. The new classical economists were associated with measurement of welfare and essentiality of interpersonal comparison of utility. The Pigouvian income distribution policy, which is based on the Marshallian theory of equal capacity for satisfaction, connotes the interpersonal comparison of utility is possible. In 1932, Robbins directly attacked on this view of Pigou and Marshall, and even after attacking over their statements, he said if economics should remain as an objective and scientific study, it should not go for interpersonal comparisons because it is led to value judgments. This may change the welfare condition and enable us to compare the welfare of one with other. So, in terms of Robbins, as far as possible, in economics, we should free ourselves from the value judgments. Then we are in position to have an objective and scientific study of economics. Here, the title of this slide is Alternative Mechanism. What is alternative mechanism and why I have given this title for all the discussion here? The reason behind this, that as in my previous slide, I have said that there is a thinking amongst economists that as far as possible to free ourselves from the interpersonal comparison involving value judgment is desire to prove economics as a scientific and objective study, and having their desire and curiosity like this, various economists have studied the welfare propositions and theory of welfare, leaving aside the idea of value judgment. However, the value judgment is so interrelated with welfare or the topic of welfare, they were not truly enable themselves to segregate themselves from value judgment. But let's discuss what they have all to say about this. Agreed with Robbins, most of the economists adopted the ordinal measurement method of Pareto to escape themselves from the interpersonal comparison, as Pareto has adopted ordinal measurement of welfare when he was giving his theory of Pareto optimality. Calder, Hicks, Eskitowski developed the compensation principle that was free from value judgment. According to this, economists can go for policy recommendation on the basis of efficiency consideration. Objective test of efficiency is to compensate the loser by the gainer. Here the idea of compensation itself implicit with value judgment. Let us first discuss what is compensation principle. If any change takes place in such a way where one improves his situation without worsening the situation of other, the first one will compensate from their part to another on the basis of their efficiency involved. But when we take the consideration of efficiency, the idea of value judgment implicit with it itself. So, even compensation principle cannot totally free the idea of welfare from the value judgment or interpersonal comparison. Thus, new welfare economics also failed to build a value-free welfare economics. However, it attempts firstly ordinal measurement of welfare, secondly to have the compensation principle on the basis of efficiency consideration. But even though having all this while interpreting the welfare economics, the value judgment always there comes into consideration. Professor Bergson is agreed with Robbins that value judgment is involved in interpersonal comparisons. But with Arrow and Samuelson, he was also of the view that without inclusion of value judgment, no meaningful proposition is possible in welfare economics. As I have said in earlier slide, that Robbins directly attacked on Pigou and Marshall about their idea of value judgment and a study of welfare and income distribution. But Professor Bergson have his own say about interpersonal comparisons. With Arrow's possibility theorem and Samuelson's study, he was of the view that only meaningful proposition in welfare economics can be taken out having interpersonal involvement, a study of value judgment and interpersonal comparison is there. So, here welfare economics is a normative study. Normative study means it study what ought to be, not only positive study that what is, but what ought to be, which is in no way restricts economists for their scientific study. So, to say that normative study of economics is not scientific and objective one is not true in totality. Paretian general optimum theory is not free from value judgment, as it states that no distribution of factor is possible to better one without worsening the condition of other. In this welfare proposition, some value judgment is there. As Pareto optimality is defined, that no change in the factor distribution can improve the situation of one without worsening the situation of other in case of welfare distribution or improving the income equality condition. So, Pareto optimality is very much interested in the study of interpersonal comparison and value judgment lies there. Paretian optimum is related with individual welfare. The self is the best judge of his optimum level of welfare. There may not be any disbelief, and this is 100% true or totally true that self is the best judge of his optimacy or maximization of his welfare. So, here even though Pareto used the ordinal measurement of utility, his welfare propositions are not free from value judgments. Having all this discussion about Pareto, Marshall, Pigou, Bergson and direct neglect of Robbins about the idea of value judgment, lastly we come to the conclusion that without having in our consideration the interpersonal comparison and value judgment, any thoughtful or meaningful proposition in welfare economics can't be derived. So, welfare economics can't be segregated with the idea of value judgment, and that's why earlier I have said, having all these deliberations and devising various mechanisms, though new welfare economics, even though not able to devise a mechanism of welfare study without the consideration of value judgment. Here I come to the conclusion. Welfare economics and ethics are not separate, and so interpersonal comparisons and value judgments cannot be segregated from economics. Now all democratic countries adopt ideals of welfare state and as per statutory provision take value judgmental decisions as free education, heavy duty on liquor, compulsory national insurance, etc., etc. It is not desired from economists to be an armchair sitting one. They can criticize and recommend as on the basis of efficiency, distribution and usefulness based on the value judgment. Of course, these are value judgment, but it must be as per people's wish, where there is the wish of the people involved. We free or economists free themselves from the wrongdoings of value judgments that are based upon their own wish. Conclusively, in words of Eskitobosky, having all this, it is the duty of social scientists to give prescription for value judgment and distribution of welfare. Here, economics is not merely a social scientist, but the fittest among all the social scientists to decide about the condition of welfare and its distribution and what led to the betterment of society as a whole.